This one is for the person who swears they work better under pressure. The person who says, I wait till the last minute, but I do my best work and I always get it done on time, right? We're going to talk about Parkinson's law today. There is a universal law that explains why we procrastinate and why we're able to wait till the last minute and get things done. But stress isn't good for our bodies. So we're going to break that down and figure out a way to beat Parkinson's law and remove the stress from our life and actually get things done in a time frame that feels good. So we touched on this a little bit in last week's episode, and I really wanted to talk more about it because so many people, when you talk about Parkinson's law, they're like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. That's so me. So essentially what Parkinson's law says is that your work will expand to the time that you give to complete it. So if you say, I have a month-long deadline, right? And then 3-4 days beforehand, you start doing the work and you get it done, that's Parkinson's law. You didn't need a month, you only needed 4 days. So if you had only given yourself a week to get it done, you probably would have gotten it done in that first week instead of thought about it all week long, right? And when we wait to the last minute, our stress levels go up, right? We have anxiety, we're constantly thinking about it, the deadline is looming all month long. And that's not good for your body either, right? It's not good for your physical well-being. It's not good for your mental well-being. It's not good for your soul to put that much pressure on yourself when it's really not needed, okay? So what we're going to do today is talk about how you can overcome Parkinson's law, stop procrastinating, stop waiting till the last minute, and stop putting so much pressure on yourselves, because we all know what stress does to the body, right? You can't think, focusing is no good. You're probably you know what, to your friends and family. Nobody wants to talk to you when you're in that kind of a mood. And then also stress eats at your soul. It's bad for cortisol and all of that kind of stuff. And if we can have healthy cortisol, we'll all be happy, right? So let's try and do something to combat this Parkinson's law, this law of the universe, right? It's almost like Newton's law. What goes up must come down. Well, we can fix that by catching the ball, right? It won't go all the way to the ground. That's what we're going to do here today. Little tips and tricks to beat procrastination. So number one, get very realistic about your timeline. And I'm going to go back to, we'll just say any kind of a service that you're providing, okay? So say you tell somebody, oh yeah, I can get it done in a week, and you get it done in a week, but you're like, oh, that was so stressful. Give yourself 30 days and then set yourself up with mini deadlines throughout. And if you're the type of person that's like, I've done that, it doesn't work, well, give yourself an accountability system. Tell the client, I'm going to check in on Friday of every week and update you on the progress that I've made. So that way, if week 1 you're doing research, you can update them on Friday with the research with just an email. And by Friday, you have to have that stuff done. And you have to be able to hand it in, right? Because you've already told them this is what I'm doing. And the same thing with the following week and the following week, or whatever it is, just set yourself up with those little deadlines where there's an accountability piece. Because again, if we don't have that, we're just going to blow through the deadline anyway, because I'm sure you've put those deadlines down and you haven't followed them before. So the other thing is, if you know a certain project has only taken you a week, but you want to make sure you have 30 days, right? What's the reason for that? See if do you have other projects going on? Where are you going to fit these things in? You have to get very strategic and practical about where and how and why you're putting things in your calendar. Okay. And block them in there so that way you can see the benefit of what's happening. What I like to do, there's a project that I don't really want to work on, or a task that I don't really like doing. I don't enjoy building funnels, but it's simple and I get them done quickly. So I do them anyway. But I will put the benefit, instead of saying build funnel, blah, 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 I'll put the benefit in my my time block instead. I don't know, get to promote X, Y, and Z, or whatever the thing is that makes you actually excited to do it, right? I never have to look at this again, and put all that stuff in there. The other thing that you can do when you sit down, have focus time dedicated to that specific task. So that way you're not under the gun. So what I used to do is I used to 30 days for every project when I was working. It was like, it's 30 days for every project, no matter what. And I didn't need 30 days, right? But I liked the pace of 30 days because I like to take a lot of time. If I don't feel like working, like I don't want to force myself to work. And I could tell you one time we moved out here to Texas and the storms are insane. And we were in an older house and I was under the gun, like I promised I'd get this done, and I was working late and the power went out and I didn't have much battery left on my laptop. And I had like the power charger was running and it was getting low. And like, there was so much stress. I'm working under candlelight, trying to type, hoping that my battery doesn't die. Like it was exhaustive. And like in the nick of time, the power came back on, like right before my computer died. And I was able to put another hour's worth of work in and get the project in on time. But like, that's not how we should run a business. We shouldn't be waiting till the last minute. Because again, like what's going to go wrong is probably going to go wrong. And then you're just going to be stuck. Like you can't skate in under the deadline all the time. Like something's going to go wrong at some point and you're going to feel like crap and your clients aren't going to be happy. And, we don't want to have those situations. So I gave myself 30 days to do a project all the time. And week 1 was always research. Week 2 was always like putting ideas and things together. So that way it started to make sense. We're forming something here. Week 3 was like rough draft week. And then week 4 would be the week where I wouldn't look at something for 2 days and then I would go and edit. And then I wouldn't look at something for 2 days and then I would go and edit. And I would usually be able to get the project into the client ahead of time, which looks really good. And I wasn't stressing out over like, it's 2 days before and I haven't started yet. And I hope this is good. Like, I know it's good because I just spent a month working on it. And being able to work on other stuff at the same time, right? Because you aren't so crunched and crazy. Like you can do those different spurts for different things. So being very, very intentional with your time, setting down realistic deadlines throughout, not just projects due on the 30th. Well, okay, there's 30 days between now and then. So what's due on the 7th, what's due on the 14th, what's due on the 21st, right? Getting yourself those little milestones. And you can even go even deeper than that if you want to, depending on what your project is or what you're handing in. So if you have a whole week and you're like, okay, on the 7th, I'm going to give X, Y, and Z update to my client. What do I need to have done by the 3rd in order to not do everything on the 5th and the 6th, right? So that way we still have that time spread out. Do you have to do 30 minutes a day for a little bit? Do you have to do an hour a day? Like, what does that look like for you and the project that you're working on? Be very, very specific with it. It's kind of like setting your 5-year goal. You don't just wait until 4.5 years down the road and be like, oh, now I got to start working on that 5-year goal, right? You start planning out your 4-year goal, your 3-year goal, your 1-year goal. You do a 6-month goal, then you do a 3-month goal, and you break it down to 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. And then what happens every month? What do I have to do every day in order to hit that goal and be where I want to be in 5 years? Well, we do the same thing with our projects. And Parkinson's law, procrastination, waiting till the last minute, getting things done under pressure will all go away. Okay. So break things down very, very minutely. It might seem a little redundant. It might seem a little silly to write this stuff down, but once you start actually holding yourself accountable and doing it a little by little, you will make your goals and hit your deadlines probably before you actually thought you wanted to, which looks really great when you hand your clients work early. They never expect it because people usually hand it in late. I was one of the ones back in the day. If somebody said it's due by noon on Friday, and I'm like, well, noon Pacific, right? Not noon Eastern, right? I would squeeze in those last 3 hours until I figured this out, right? And it's super, super helpful. It really lowers your stress level. You can see how much work you can actually take on. And it's really, really helpful for just keeping things in alignment and making sure that we're not waiting till the last minute. Okay, so that way if something else comes up, if you have another client emergency, you're not completely stressed out and crumbling and want to burn everything to the ground. All right, so I do have a guide that will link down below. It's called Maximize Your Time. It's a lot of tips and tricks in there to be able to help you work through some of these things where you'll find more time, more hours in your week, different ways to do things so that way you're not it helps you focus better, essentially, is what it does. And also I offer a free 30-minute call. So if this is something that you struggle with, if you're not quite sure how to put like goals in place or how to break things down, or if you have a very specific issue, one specific issue, we will work on that one issue in those 30 minutes. So you can click on that too. And I hope to talk to you soon.